Hey guys, listen up. Don't go beating yourself up over your money situation. Seriously, don't. You're probably doing better than you think. We all feel like we're falling behind sometimes, especially when we look at people in our own age group who seem to have their lives together financially. But hold that thought for a second. I'm here to tell you, you might be doing better with your money than you realize. Trust me. In this video, I'm about to hit you with 4 scary money stats that'll really make you question how well off some people actually are. But hang tight. Number 4, that's the one that'll really hit you like a punch to the gut. So stick around, okay? Let's get something straight first. A lot of people out here in America look like they're swimming in cash. But when you look at these stats, it's gonna put everything into perspective. You know that type. Those folks flexing on Instagram and TikTok. I'm talking about the kind of people who look like they've got it all, but in reality, they're living paycheck to paycheck. We see you. Anyway, enough about them. This video isn't to roast anyone, though let's be honest, they deserve it, but to help you feel better about where you stand financially. If you're feeling stressed about money, I've got some numbers that should ease your mind a bit. You're probably better off than you think, but I'm also going to give you some strategies so that you're not part of these scary stats going forward. Now, let's jump into the first one. Ready for this? 61% of Americans don't have enough emergency savings to cover a $1,000 emergency. Yep, 61%. That's over half of the country. According to a Bankrate survey, this is a huge chunk of people who are literally one emergency away from financial disaster. And by the way, 20% of Americans have zero savings. Let that sink in. If you have more than $1,000 saved up for emergencies, congrats. You're beating 60% of your fellow Americans. Welcome to the top of the financial food chain, my friend. Here's the deal. Emergencies will happen, that's a fact. They don't ask for permission, and they sure as hell don't wait for you to be ready. So start saving. I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, if you don't want to end up like the 61% of Americans, start putting aside a little cash. The goal is to save 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. If you've got a pretty secure job like a nurse or a federal government gig, 3 to 4 months might do. But if your job's a little more shaky, aim for at least 6 months to a year of savings. Don't wait until your car breaks down or your roof starts leaking to start scrambling for cash. Plan ahead, people. Here's a suggestion. Every time you get paid, stash a little bit away into your emergency fund. Don't even think about growing that money or putting it into some fancy investment account. Just put it somewhere where you can get it easily when a disaster strikes. And yes, put it in your budget. Treat your emergency savings like a deal you can't break. Budget it in every month and keep that fund for actual emergencies, not your friend's birthday party that you forgot about. All right, so moving on. Number 2, 1 out of 3 Americans have zero saved up for retirement. Yeah, you heard that right. A whole third of Americans have nothing saved up for the future. They're just out there winging it. And you know what? When they hit 60 or 70, they're probably gonna have to rely on family or the government to take care of them. Good luck with that, right? Look, at some point, you're gonna wanna start thinking about your future self. You know, the 60-year-old version of you who still needs to eat, pay rent, and keep the lights on. Don't wait until it's too late to start saving. Start now. If you're investing for retirement, good for you. You're already ahead of the game. But if you're not, you need to get with it because you owe it to your future self to invest today. If you're not putting at least 10 to 15% of your income into your retirement, you're already behind. Plain and simple. All right, let's get to the third stat. 60% of Americans don't have a budget or a financial plan. This one is just kind of sad. Your budget is your game plan. It's your blueprint for your money. If you're not budgeting, you're ruining your life like a business that has no idea what's going on. No profit and loss statement. No income or expenses listed anywhere. Just pure chaos. Think about it. Would you trust a business that doesn't have a budget? I don't think so. A budget doesn't have to be fancy. Just track your income, track your expenses, and make sure every dollar has a job. When you start tracking things, you'll be amazed at how much extra money you find. It's like cleaning up a messy room. The more you organize, the more space you'll have. So if you're not budgeting, you're literally making life harder than it needs to be. Get it together. Now on to the final shocker, number 4. Nearly 50% of Americans use credit cards to pay for their everyday living expenses. Yeah, you heard that right. Almost half of the country is relying on credit cards to cover the basic bills, and the average American household is sitting on a $6,000 credit card debt pile. That's about $986 billion in total credit card debt, folks. And the fact that nearly 50% of people are just swiping away their problems instead of handling them, that's a huge problem. Here's the kicker. Younger generations are the worst offenders. 61% of Gen Z and 53% of millennials are using credit cards to cover their daily expenses. And guess what? They're not paying off those cards. No. They're just running up their balances and ignoring their interest rates, which, let me remind you, are about 20% on average. That's a wealth killer. I don't know about you, but I don't want to end up paying for a latte today for the next 5 years with interest. Credit cards aren't evil, but if you're not paying them off every month, they're draining your wallet. Look, I haven't used a credit card in years, and I don't plan on going back. If you absolutely must use one, be responsible with it. Pay it off every month, or at least make sure your balance is low. No one wants to be buried in credit card debt. Trust me. So if any of these stats hit close to home for you, don't sweat it. Don't be ashamed. Just face it, fix it, and start taking control. Remember, you can always do better. And now that you know what to avoid, you're already on the right path. So thank you for watching. If you found anything useful here, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new, subscribe for more money advice. Until next time, make sure to take care of your future self and don't let your financial mistakes define you. Catch you guys later.